We like to do this, but every week we talk about the lineup updates. And this time we're going to be talking about abilities and ability stacks and why that is all, well, the game is getting a little ridiculous. And the truth is it is, and it's going to get even more ridiculous as the season goes on. But it is best team in Madden. And last time we saw our team, we talked about it was a 99. Now it's a 98. Doesn't need to be 99. Don't need 99. So I'm not even gonna, like, I don't even want to talk about players so much in some of this case, because you can use so many different players, okay? And I've been saying this kind of like on repeat lately. The way you need to build your team is based off of who you want at quarterback, okay? And how much that ability stack costs. And we have options you can go get. Justin Herbert, who gets the big four. Gunslinger, Fearless, Pass Lead Elite, Hot Rod Master for 3 AP. And he's got a good release now, too. You could have Ken Stabler, but he's a lefty. You could have Vic. You can get it for 6 on some players as well. It all depends. So, like, start there is the main thing. And then build out. Now, to me, having an AP advantage is the most important thing when building the team. So, what we will likely do on our best team in Madden series is continuously find the quarterback who does provide that best advantage. I will also be keeping up now with a Falcons theme team, sort of full time, but I'm not going to try to like mix it in. I'm going to sort of have like the Falcons theme team, which is the team of, you know, I have a lot of fun playing with. And then we're going to have like, man, these, like the new hotness basically is what it's going to be. Okay. So as we get in here, let's talk about offensive line. I think more and more, we're going to start having to move into using secure protectors on our interior defensive line. The reason is all these crazy X factors, and you need a chance to nullify them. Edge protector doesn't really work. Okay. Edge protector doesn't really work against all these unstoppable forces that well. Secure protectors. That's why we've thrown a secure protector out here. And it's also why, at the same point, when you're playing those people, generally they're not blitzing heavy. They're just kind of hoping that those X-factored AKA cards, well, will do the work for them. So that's why we are throwing post-ups as well when we can get them for free. It makes a lot of sense, because if someone's rushing 3 or 4, then that double team is going to really hold up super well for us, right? And that's actually our biggest concern. You remember early in the year, it was people were running edge threat. People were running edge threat and double or nothing. And you had, if you didn't have those edge protectors, secure protectors, you were toast. We're kind of like jumping into this area, okay? So what and who we run on our offensive line kind of going forward will be who's just the best AP, right? Best AP possible. That's the goal, okay? At tight end, again, it really depends on your scheme and how you play. I like to have certain abilities. I don't really like to have short out, but I want to have short in or route tech on them generally. I've seen conversation from Mikey on Twitter saying that they're the same thing. I don't think that they're exactly the same, but I'm going to do some testing around it, because I saw it and I was like, I don't think it's the same. But the truth is, I can't say that with 100% certainty. So if I can't say that, then I need to figure out, okay? So we're going to be working on that. So again, just AP wise, start at your QB. That's where we're using Herbert, okay? He's the best AP wise. I do prefer having a righty. I actually like using Vic more for my personal enjoyment, but again, for best, I think right now Herbert's probably the 1A. And if you had Stabler, again, he's just the lefty version of Herbert, literally the same card. Wide receiver CD Lamb is probably wide receiver 1 right now. And you could, I even have this token to put in here where you can get a free short in elite on him on this slot. But you only get 4, maximum of 4 tokens for these game changer cards with these free abilities. So we know we're having another part of that promo, but this CD Lamb plays well, gets open, breaks tackles. He does all that sort of stuff. CD's old card was really good. This card is also really, really good, guys. And he comes with a very hefty price. He's about 1 million coins. So me saying he's the best and he's 1 million coins, it shouldn't be a surprise, right? It just shouldn't be a surprise. 97 break tackle on him there. He does great. He does great. Otherwise, again, Justin Jefferson and all that. So after quarterback, you should be looking, again, you know, speed and height. Yes, they're great. But the more abilities you can have on the field, the better. Find and say, man, I really need short out. I really need short in on this specific receiver. That's how you need to build your team, is based on that. Like for me, in my scheme, I really only have one wide receiver on the outside, and that would be Julio Jones, and that's why I have short out on him. So if someone presses me and it covers 0, that's a touchdown, right? Makes sense. But if I'm getting it for free, that means I can flip my play and have a little more freedom. Again, that is great. At running back, I think there's so many different guys you can use right now. Still, for me, having short in elite on your running back is absolutely crucial. Absolutely crucial, because you need them to not drop those balls, because there's a lot of people with KOs out there, and for the most part, the short ins, deep outs, and all that, they kind of negate some of those KOs. They hold on to the ball a bit better, and again, you can get it for free on most of these guys. If you're a big runner, what I would probably do is sort of like have a 2-back system sometimes. Again, it makes a lot of sense. Or you could try to stack AP on a certain player if you really, really wanted to do that. But this Josh Jacobs here is, again, we could throw this token in here and get tank for 0, which would be super nice. But they get all these other abilities for 1. So you're not even going to be overpaying with these cards at all, right? Like, at all. These are all good abilities to have on here. You could get Bruiser for 1. That's not bad, right? It's not bad. So if my spare AP when I have it is probably going to be like sprinkled into things like that. So we talked about receivers. We talked about running backs. And you can see on this team right now, I only have 9 AP. 9. I have 3 AP to play with. I don't 100% know where I want it to go yet. And so I don't have it on there because, again, I always feel like whenever we do a build in a video like this, if you guys see me have some random ability, maybe I put backlash on Josh Jacobs, someone's gonna be like, oh, maybe I should use backlash. So I don't put random things on these guys, so you guys don't sort of fall for that and do things. But we're gonna make sure that we have it. And again, for someone like me, not a heavy runner, I think having Quad Father, worth 2 AP in my back pocket for the red zone, for 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s, is a really nice luxury. And I think that's probably the way I'll go and sprinkle 1 more AP in with someone here. But offensively, that's what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Now, defense is different, okay? Now, again, if you play a heavy man style, a lot of the cornerbacks and safety stuff I'm going to mention here, it does not apply. If you want some of those guys, the best man corner ability-wise you can probably get is the Game Changers Tyson Campbell. I had him. He's fine, but in a zone, I'd rather have someone else. I think the best corner I have used this year, and he's not, you don't see him on the team yet because I haven't built it out fully, is Aqib Talib. Okay? Like, he has made so many plays. I don't know if that's the true for you guys, if you guys have used them. Again, I use them in zone. So yeah, so again, the way that we play zone is flexibility, right? We need to be flexible. So I always have on my safeties deep out zone KO and mid zone KO. The reason we have mid zone KO is sometimes they're not deep enough when people start firing passes, and a mid zone KO will trigger, you know, that under 30 yards sort of place. So it's really nice to have. But again, it is probably 2 AP, and there's a lot of combinations of players that are starting to get that deep out, mid zone, and pick artists for 2. You're going to see that on my teams, that combination, until we get some other random free AP ability or something there. So again, I'm going to have the same thing on my corners with a slight change, deep out and flat zone and pick artist. Again, this allows me to run cover 2, cover 6, cover 9, cover 3 cloud, all that sort of stuff. The other stuff allows me to run cover 3, cover 4. And again, you can't be fully perfect, because if you're running cover 3 and you're flipping your plays and you want to run other stuff, you can have your safeties and flats, and you don't want to be running flat zone on them as well. There's too much AP in that situation. So I'm okay with just having them not be on a KO if I randomly decide to be playing cover 3. So we use 8 AP on our 2 outside corners and our 2 deep safeties. At linebackers, free abilities, whatever you can get. On my D line, free abilities. Okay. Why? Well, there's a lot of good ones. You can have double or nothings, inside stuffs, edge threat elites. Again, like their hand, you still want to have them just in case that those guys happen to make it on the field. Potentially on my middle linebackers, I prefer to have lurker out there. Again, if I really get into a situation. But the main pass rush abilities that everyone is going to be moving to is the X Factors from AKA cards. Darius Leonard, Shaq Leonard, I think, whatever. Yeah, I apologize. I remember his Team of the Year card from years ago. Shaq Leonard, Maniac. JJ Watt's Milkman. DeMarcus Lawrence, Tank. Those 3 cards, starting the game with Unstoppable Force, is the move to do. It's super annoying to play against. It costs 1 AP per player, and you can do that. So we have 8, right? And then you have 3, and that would leave you with 1 more to play with. And in this case, I put inside stuff on Shaq Leonard for my extra AP, okay? So that's how this team is built. You don't have to have all these cards. You know, like, again, the card itself doesn't fully matter, just the abilities that it can get. So again, if you think, ooh, okay, well, I really like running Edge Threat Elite, and Too Talls is free, or the new Reggie White coming, his is free. Well, that's who I should want to get to have out there. That's great, right? Again, I think having under pressures out there sometimes is helpful, but the more and more we go to these QBs with massive discounted abilities and they have fearless, under pressure isn't going to really worry as much. So I'm going to counteract what they're doing. Offensively, I want to counteract what the defense is doing, and defense, I want to counteract what the offense is doing. Fearless is it's out there. It's 0 or 1 AP on everyone now. So I'm not going to pay for under pressure. I probably shouldn't even pay for an Edge Threat Elite if I have Edge Threat that is free, because again, it's not going to really matter. An Edge Threat Elite is Edge Threat plus under pressure. It's the same. Okay. When we go to special teams, again, your kicker, you can get all the abilities you want on there. That's fine. Let's talk about our users here, right? And I don't have anything on Eric Berry currently. I just actually have to play his solos. But I still want to have pick artist on these guys because I'm not always controlling them. Yes, I'm going to be in charge of probably one of my sub linebackers on most plays, but that means that the other one isn't being controlled as well. I have no problem throwing a mid-zone KO on one of these guys if I had an extra AP and I didn't want to run any more inside stuffs. That's fine. But again, that's just the way that it should work for you truly. It's 100%. And that's the way that you should build your team. Keep up with what is going on. We do have the Game Changer strategy item in here. You should probably go get that if you're going to be picking up any of these cards. But that's what we need to focus on constantly. Start with the quarterback and see what people on defense, like what's the defensive meta? Oh man, all these X factors. Well, I need secure protectors. On defense, oh, everyone's running fearless. Okay, I don't need under pressures then, right? It just makes sense. Right? The more and more and more that people may get away from man coverage, because it's been more people have been leaving man coverage, but there's still enough out there that I think there is value in having route abilities on your receivers. They do help you hold on to the ball a bit better too, which is nice even if you're throwing to traffic in zone coverage. But it was nicer when there was a heavy man. So I'm not trying to overspend on my receivers. The most I would really want to be putting on them is 1 AP. I think we do that a lot, as you can see here. So that's the way that we are building everything right now. Every day we are getting new cards, it feels like. You could have an entirely different team than mine, and it is just as good. Every position could be different. You could have a different card at every position. And I think your team could be as good. Legitimately. If you think about last Wednesday, because you guys are seeing this on Wednesday, right? We had 0 98 overalls in the game, I'm pretty sure. Maybe 1, JJ Watt, right? One. Do you know how many we got in these past 7 days? It's like 55 98 overall cards. 55. That's crazy. That's crazy. Teams are changing constantly. So don't worry about it. Don't overpay, because as soon as a card looks a little bit special, oh, there's another card coming that is just as special. 2 weeks ago, too tall. Only legend card. Only end. With Hedge Thread Elite for 0. 2 weeks later, here comes Reggie White. He's not limited, right? Oh, Ken Stabler. 5 days later, here's Justin Herbert. That's what they do. What they do. Hopefully this helps you guys out just a little bit. Love you guys. I'm out. Peace.